Chonke Gabazana. I'm originally from PE. I study at MMU, and I was invited to go to a workshop in Hollywood called Hollywood in Focus. A guy named Rashay Boyson was new. All the programs that was hosted by the U.S. Embassy in PE. They called American Corners, and they are based in Cape Town. So he knew the programs that they host, and he told us about it, and he nominated us. The Blacksmith is a website that supports artists in the Eastern Cape. It's exclusively for Eastern Cape artists. We distribute music through the website, and we also have a blog, so we talk about Eastern Cape hip-hop, we have interviews, and we shoot film, and film is like our primary source of the reaching out to people and growing the site. We had 2 seasons of Eastern Cape Hip Hop Diaries. We had a campaign called So 16. We have stuff that we are shooting currently for maybe later on this year to next year, which is the Blacksmith music special, where we invite artists to come perform at a local club, and we capture that on film. The first week of the program would be called Industry Week, where we go to industry players and try to get to know those guys. So the very first industry player we went to Fox Studios, and we spoke to a lady named Roya with her team. She's vice president of the international marketing side of Fox Studios. After lunch we went to Sundance, where we met Moira and Tabita. They're also like directors, and Tabita is in charge of, she's a director and she's in charge of funding. The next day we went to 2 studio tours. That's where we just go to the studio and we walk around, which was Warner Brothers and Sony. Later on that day we met up with Chiquita from BET Networks. She just told us she's in charge of original programming. The last day of Industry Week, we focused on equipment. We went to Matthew's studio equipment, and we also went to Light Gear. I'm actually wearing their shirt now. We went to Light Gear. At Matthews we spoke to Robert, who's the vice president there. And later on that day we went to Light Gear. We met up with Paul, who's the co-founder of Light Gear, and another guy, but I forget his name. And one thing that I learned about that, visiting all those places, is that none of them worked in isolations. Even the studios, if Fox is doing something, if Fox is making a movie, and Warner Brothers has the facilities for a certain scene or a certain shot or costume, Fox will go to Warner Brothers and they will lease it out. The way that they work together, and we kind of named it the value chain. Everybody within the chain has value to contribute, so the end product is like quality because of the different values that everybody contributes. And that was the nice thing about the industry. We got to see all the players in the value chain, and like Industry Week was nice. The workshop was film school basically. So the cool thing about the relativity one is that you would have, say now, lighting in the morning, and in the afternoon you would actually be given lights, and you would be given a project where you'd have to light up a certain place which is pitch black. You'd light it up to set the mood, and you'd do it. So even if you had never dealt with lights before, you had a full class on it, and in the afternoon you had a full opportunity to do what you wanted to do. Same thing with camera. We first had camera orientation, and then in the afternoon we were given 2 actors and we were told to shoot a certain script. We went to the Sundance LA Fest, We were invited by Sundance actually, and while we were there, we met up with actors, we met up with directors and stuff like that. And you would have a conversation with someone, and they would want to know what you do, so you would tell them, and they would tell you what they do. And if the conversation was interesting, or they saw like, listen, I would like to carry on this conversation, someone would whip out a card and be like, listen, this is my email, this and this. And that's something that we don't do like here in Eastern Cape. We actually don't even work with each other as much as I think we should. And the interesting thing about Hollywood and everything else is that Hollywood was built on relationships. If we could get that, like, listen, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to do everything. Build your team with the people that you meet, and if this person is good at something, or you like how he works or something like that, work with him. And maybe you two can work on a project that will lift the standard of the game, you know. This program is definitely a program that I would advise other people to go on. Like, if you ever given this opportunity to go, like, even like the people that I was with, right? I was there on behalf of the Blacksmith. We are a website, we support artists, we use film to reach out to people and to grow our audience. I was there with actors on the program. There were 6 of us. There was 3 actors. There was Sarah that does documentaries, and she works in television. And there was a guy named Fortune Casey, and he's a director. He's worked on like 6 feature-length movies. He had gone to film school and he's got his bachelor's in film. And I kept on asking him, hey, did you find that fruitful? Did you find that worth it? And every single time he said, no, I learned a lot. That was fruitful, that was worth my time. And why I'm saying this is that even, it doesn't matter where you're at in your personal development, this program, it helps. Even if you're experienced, or you like me, who's probably like new to it, no matter where you're at, it helps, and you will find it fruitful, because the things that you learn there is like from a different perspective. I want to thank like Steven first of all, like his whole concept of inviting African filmmakers, African film entrepreneurs to Hollywood to learn the business. That's another objective of the whole workshop, is bringing Africans over to learn the business. That whole concept of bringing Africans over to Hollywood to learn the business of the industry is just amazing, and he doesn't have to do it. That's the one thing. He doesn't. He's in business and he does something completely different. I'd like to thank the staff at Relativity, the people that were lecturing to us. They did it with such enthusiasm. The directors, everybody's just happy about the program. The companies like Warner Brothers, Sony, Lightgear, Matthews Studio Equipment, Fox Studios, Sundance, they were all just welcoming, you know, and they believe in this program. So I'd like to thank them and for their time, because I mean, we were meeting vice presidents, we were meeting directors. We didn't have to meet those people. We could have met the secretary and we'd be like, wow, it was amazing. But those people took time out of their busy schedule to make time for us, which is, for me, was amazing.